Yes. The NFL Combine gets you so excited for what's to come in the draft and where the Eagles are going to go. I'm pretty pumped about it. Looked at a lot of guys. NFL Combine. It's nice to see when you see these guys in action at the Combine. It's an awesome thing. I already have the guy that I want to draft where the Eagles might have to move up. Realistically, not saying unrealistic, but realistically, I think the Eagles do have to move up in this draft for a specific player of what I really want. And there's a lot of players I want, but one especially in particular, I think the Eagles are going to go, and we're going to go over obviously defensive line, linebackers, and who stood out the most and where the Eagles can go in a certain direction. So let's get into it all.
You better drink. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
What's up, guys? I hope everyone's having a great day today. So, obviously, the kind of a review of the NFL Combine regarding yesterday, and a lot of talent out there, guys, especially from what the Eagles do want and what the Eagles need. And when you're looking at defensive players, it's always a great thing because that's where we're empty at a lot of positions. We still got 2 more days of the Combine still. But defensive line and linebackers, defensive tackle will go over first as much as I like specific guys from this group. And they even obviously the big ones with, Byron Murphy that might be gone. And, Braden Fisk is one that ended up, should have been, could have been maybe a day 2 pick. Obviously, with his statistics going up and what he did at the combine, his get off explosiveness. I mean, a great sense of direction. He's got good body flow. He's just quick, and I think might turn to a late first rounder at this point. So, like I said, there's a lot of good DTs on the board as of right now. And unfortunately for the Eagles, I feel like they've already put in 2 first-round talents already there with Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis already. So, I don't think the Eagles go down this direction. Obviously, if some of these guys slide, I think there could be maybe a depth piece in maybe in the 3rd round if they feel like somebody slides to the 3rd round, maybe a Jaden Crumdy or something like that. Even Tyler Davis, maybe. I don't know. Certain guys may slide down the road. I even like Mekhi Wingo is another guy that I really liked, had a really good combine with a 4.85. Brandon Fisk had a 4.78 40. Just fantastic. And like I said, this group is great for the Eagles' needs or best player available that's there. The Eagles are probably going to go in a different direction than defensive tackle. Regarding Fletcher Cox coming back, there's a lot of news with him, Howie giving him space and time. I think they're welcoming not only Kelsey coming back, but for the defensive line, Fletcher Cox coming back as well, depending on price and what happens there. So that's going to be interesting. So you have your 5 defensive ends, fastest 40 times as of right now. Chop Robinson pretty much had the best day. Chop is just, man, top 15 pick. The Eagles would have to move up, obviously, for him. And a couple other guys that are my favorites. As much as I like Chop that much, I think where I'm really going in the direction at defensive end right now that I really like at, because, we've been seeing it a million times because the Eagles have been linked to corner in this draft nonstop. Okay, we'll go over that in a second. But Latu, man, from UCLA has got my eyes rolling in a positive direction. This is a guy in 2020 that had, had a neck issue. I don't know if he broke his neck or he had a neck complication, an injury, that he was medically retired in 2020, and then came back and just lit the world on fire. He's got violent hands. He's got a great bend on the edge. He's powerful. I mean, wow. Quick, explosive off the line. I mean, just you want a guy that's going to start day 1 for you. And he comes from a really good story too. I like guys that come from really good stories that become good players. So you're going to get the best out of this guy as well when he gets to the NFL, when he gets on that level, which is great. And you have guys that are. This is a trade up prospect, guys. I mean, as much as all the media has been talking about Quinion Mitchell from Toledo, Kool-Aid McKinstry from Alabama, like Bucky's mock draft, just all these mock drafts I've seen from the NFL Combine. It's only been those 2 corners. Okay. because of the Eagles and what they run with Vic Fangio, do you want more of a press corner if you're not going to use them in press? Like, that's what I'm saying. Are they wasting their time drafting a corner in the first round? Where because if Hassan Reddick comes back, okay, if Hassan Reddick does come back, it's still not enough because Nolan Smith is probably going to turn into an outside linebacker at this point. Okay, you need a good rotation. Obviously, Brandon Graham's a free agent. Josh Sweat. Obviously, if Hassan Reddick gets extended and gets a big contract for 3 years, whatever the extension is, you know that Josh Sweat is not going to get paid after this year. This will be a contract year for him. A prove it year for him for other teams, kind of a pony show for him a little bit for the season. But getting an edge rusher is probably going to be because the Eagles' MO is, they don't go after linebackers. They don't draft running backs early. And obviously, trenches has been the number one thing for the Eagles. Does not put out that the Eagles won't draft an offensive lineman in the first round. But Lala Tulu, man, I just feel like they need a monster edge guy on the other side. And I feel like this could be the pick. I still think these two, even with Chop Robinson and Lala Tulu, I think both of these guys are going top 15 regardless. I can't see them dropping any further than 15, 16. The Eagles with 4 fifth-round picks, 2 second-rounders, they have, there's going to be like 4 or 5 teams going after quarterbacks between picks 1 to 10 at least. And there's a little bit of wiggle room there where the Eagles can move up and try to make a move here. Will it be for an edge rusher, though? I don't know. Depending on what they do in free agency, bringing Hassan Reddick back, it's just not going to be enough. Bringing Brandon Graham back, I don't think it's an upgrade, really. He's just playing out his last year before he retires, and they want to get younger. They want to get somebody bold on the edge right there, somebody that's going to attack and be a hunter and just get after the quarterback and be disruptive as hell and annoying to offenses. It's going to be Lala Tulu. Okay. And this is like one of my favorite guys. I mean, I've looked at this guy the last few weeks. I haven't put out any of the draft highlight reactions yet. I have them ready, for the next couple weeks. I've been looking straight at him a lot of the time, and I think would be a very good upgrade piece for us. Because look, at the end of the day, even if you sign Reg to an extension, he's in his third. He's going to be in his 30s by September, and I think he's going to play at a high level, no doubt. But you need somebody more future. You need somebody here after Reddick leaves. You're still going to have somebody in the building after a few years, and it's going to be Lala Tulu. And I think this would be a really nice pick for the Eagles, really, because this is why I think trench is going to be more important because there is holes there. And yes, there is holes at linebacker and safety. We're fast forwarding too much because we haven't even touched free agency yet. So it's really hard to grasp what they're going to do yet. But because with Quinion Mitchell and because of Kool-Aid McKinstry, for me, it just makes no sense. But if it's really up to me and what I want to do, go into the second round and get the best guy. Go into your second round and get the best guy. Ennis Rakestraw Jr. You know what I mean? I think that would make the most sense because maybe they should go get a more of a scheme fit in the second round. First round, you get best player available, no doubt. Somebody's going to slide. When it comes to the second round, they have to get scheme fit for Fangio's defense. If they want that future number one-ish type best zone corner, Ennis Rakestraw Jr. is definitely top of my board when it comes to that. So, because if you're not playing press that much, and that's the best of what these guys can do, you don't draft a guy that does that has the best zone coverage in the first round. You don't. That makes absolutely no sense. You're drafting a guy for press man. That's what they're getting drafted for. So if you put them on the field and they're barely even pressing, I feel like you're wasting a lot of money in that department, and I feel like they have to go a different direction. So when it comes to what I think they're going to do, I think it's going to be defensive end. I could be wrong. I hope it's corner in the first round. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dismissing it. I hope they do it. We haven't drafted a corner since, it's been up Sheldon Brown. It's been years since they've done it in the first round, especially back-to-back corners, and look how that turned out. Fantastic. But I like the story with Lala Tulu, and obviously his play is fantastic. And I think they need a younger edge guy. If Josh Sweat's leaving, Reddick's getting up there in age, and they have nobody until we know what happens with Nolan Smith, which will probably be more of an outside linebacker now. you kind of have no defensive ends at this point. And I think, we're going to find out, what's going to happen, especially if Reddick leaves, it's going to be even worse. So got to take more into consideration with drafting this guy. And, it's been high on my board so far as the first day of the combine, even the last few weeks going over things. It's been kind of crazy. I'm glad his testing went really, really well and fantastic. You go to the linebackers, obviously, you saw Edgar and Cooper, which I think everybody's kind of, he was fantastic. Um, he was fantastic at the combine, and one of the fastest 40 times. I mean, athletically, shoulders, the way, it's just, he's very shifty. I mean, he's smooth with his movements. And all out is going to be a fantastic linebacker for somebody. The only problem that I'm getting from Eagle fans, and I think there might be an issue here, is durability, and that might be a red flag for teams to kind of stay away. Maybe he will move down the draft, which he should be another guy that's going to go top 15 anyway. Early, maybe not. We'll see. So that's another one which I really liked him, but a lot of fans are, kind of hesitant a little bit. Dallas Turner obviously having a monster day. Yeah. I mean, yeah, 4.47. I mean, come on now. I mean, 40, 50, a vertical jump, 10 instead of broad jump. I mean, just fantastic statistics and what he did at the combine, and looks to be is going to be a nice linebacker for somebody's going to get, and he's probably going to go top 10, probably top 12. I mean, these guys are going to be gone early as hell. Dallas Turner, to bring another Dallas to Philadelphia, why not? I mean, I have nothing against it at all. Even Chris Braswell too, another one that could be available, that could move down the line a little bit. Do the Eagles take a chance at linebacker in the first round? Highly doubt it. If Braswell fell down, sure, but that's probably not going to happen. I heard that Jeremiah Trotter Jr., I don't think he even tested today because I was watching. I didn't even see him test at all. I don't know if there's an injury, if there's something going on. I have no idea. But that's not really great to put your draft stock up. You'd still take a chance on him at this point, even when you have no testing. We'll look for right before the draft. We'll see pro days from specific, players. A lot of these players will have pro days right before the draft. So you'll get to see a little bit of testing on their own time at their schools. The Eagles will visit and stuff like that. So lot to take away from it. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I mean, look, DTs, I'm not putting too much into it because, maybe in the later rounds, they'll get somebody as a rotational guy, maybe. You've already put 2 first-round pick defensive tackles, the last couple years with Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. Linebackers, great, would love it, but the problem is they just don't draft linebackers in the first round. I hope the philosophy would change. I've told people I'd flip the hell out. I'd be really emotional if they did that. It would really shock me. The Eagles are empty at linebacker right now. I think that's where their free agency money is going to go into. Andrew Van Ginkel, I think that's going to be the number one prospect. I think they sign a prove-it guy, and then go into the second round, maybe draft another linebacker. Unless someone moves down to the second round, that someone slides down and the Eagles can get a grasp on somebody. Just remember, they have those 4 5th-rounders, those 2 second-rounders. So they have ammo to move up even more if they really want to get their guy. So should be interesting. And we've talked about, for me, myself, with, Lala Tula too, and just the athletic ability he has and how much of a monster he's going to be on the edge. And I think the Eagles need edge. I think edge is going to be big, because you really don't have, besides if Reddick does come back, you still don't have anything. You're good at one side. Other than that, Josh Sweat is, as you're looking towards this year, you're looking towards the future. Yeah, I'm looking more towards the future than just this year, because after this year, if Reddick gets an extension, it's going to be Reddick. Brandon Graham's going to be gone if he comes back for one more year anyway. Josh Sweat's going to be a free agent. They're not paying Reddick and Sweat. Not going to happen. And like I said, Nolan Smith will probably be an outside linebacker for us at this point. So if you want more in the rotation, you want an assassin on the edge. And, Vic Fangio is third in pressures, has used some of his linebackers downhill at times. 4 guys in coverage, obviously 3 on the line. And I think you need a guy, I think you need somebody on the edge that's going to take it. I mean, I think Jordan Davis is going to handle the double teams. Jalen Carter might get doubled. You freeze up that end spot, open somebody up on the edge, and get a guy like this. It might free up those one-on-ones. It might, you might have. We've seen Jalen Carter get triple team. We've seen Jordan Davis get triple teamed at times. You know what I mean? But you have more guys in coverage too. So athletically, they have to get better. Athletically, that fits the scheme because Bradbury can't cut it. A few guys just can't cut it athletically. There's just guys that just can't move, that just can't. That's why they need to get younger. That's why they have to get younger at certain positions because they don't have the right personnel for this system and put them in a failed situation last year, which I think makes a lot of sense. So other than that, guys, that was the first day. Linebackers, defensive line, and be a lot to talk about in the coming days. And I can't wait. My juices are flowing for the draft already. And I'm pretty excited to see what what the unofficial visits are going to look like down the road. And we'll get into the wide receivers, quarterbacks, all that great stuff, in the next couple days. Cornerbacks going to be a big one for the Eagles, and safety. So, we'll see what happens. But you guys have a fantastic day. Let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Shake some up, follow. So peace out, guys. Peace.